After suffering 3 concussions over a 4-year period, Tony Scheffler is calling it a career. I'm Jim Basketball, the latest ESPN headlines alongside the coach Herm Edwards. Scheffler, a tight end that had 258 receptions, coach over his career, 22 touchdowns over 8 years, over 3,200 receiving yards, a productive player. He was a second-round choice out of 2006 draft. As a player-coach, you were both. Do you recall players who had similar circumstances in terms of the concussions, but maybe took a different path and said, I want to continue to play on?
Well, I think in the era that I played, obviously, you weren't privy to all these concussions and the symptoms players are having and really the protection they have that's put in place by the National Football League. It was more of, if you were okay, you could count to 2, you'd go back and play. So to say that it was different in the era that I played in, much different. But I think now when you look at our league, it's really about protecting the player, and it should be.
Yeah, that's a good point. And kudos to Scheffler for understanding the importance of kind of having a quality of life after football in a sense. But how has the league changed? And you've kind of bridged the gap here, because even it was different when you were a coach, not even only when you were a player, but how has the league changed for the better in terms of dealing with head injuries?
Well, I think information and knowledge, obviously, that players receive anymore. And now players realize that their career is in jeopardy, and you don't want to jeopardize your career trying to be a tough guy. Before, it was a matter of being a tough guy meant you went out and played, regardless of the circumstances. And I think players now understand that, hey, there's a lot involved in this. There's an afterlife of football. You know, and so there's a post-career, and so most players understand it, and coaches understand that too. It's become the norm in our league now, and it's acceptable.
There's so many stories out there where you see what's happened to players that have kind of hung on a little too long with the head injuries, on how their lives are now and how bad the quality of life is. Do you suppose that's educated a player like Tony Scheffler to say, you know what, I'm not going to push it?
Well, I think yes, and the fact that obviously when this is repeated within a short period of time, there's a concern, and there should be, because your long-time future and your long-time health is very important to you. Know, as we know, football players, their career, if they have a career, let's say it spans 10 seasons, they're still in their young 30s. And now it's about the rest of your life. And so you have to make sure you look at that, and most guys don't do that. I think guys in today's world have more information, and they realize there is a post-career after football.
He played for the Denver Broncos and Detroit Lions, but Tony Scheffler, after 8 seasons in the NFL, is calling it a career. You can read more about this story right here on ESPN.com. For the coach, Herm Edwards, I'm Jim Basketball.